was inside of this cafe and suddenly this little bird came from outside and landed on my feet, and he stayed there. I remember being a kid and trying to grab this bird, and I never could it because they don't allow you to be close to them. So when I saw him, I took him with my hands. I went out from the cafe and I opened my hands, and almost he didn't want to go anywhere. And that brought me the clarity of you need to make people feeling safe. My name is Rajpreet, and I use different yoga modalities and holistic methods to empower women. My dad died. He tried to commit suicide, and I saw him using a gun and shooting his head in front of me. And I remember that feeling of feeling like totally unsafe because I didn't want to see those things, like I was 10 years old. And I still remember the sensation. Then when I was 13 years old, I had my first boyfriend and I left my house. It was a lot of abuse, like physically, like sexually, mentally. I tried all the different drugs with him, and that was very, very intense, and I feel I didn't realize about this experience after so many years later. It was horrible. I didn't have a voice at all. All those things came out in my marriage. Having that fear that my husband, he's gonna be upset. This kind of tightness in my belly, that was the tightness of my belly that I was feeling when I was this little girl, running and hiding myself. Even my marriage was not something easy. I feel it has been one of the biggest blessings right now to start really finding who I am. During my marriage, I already knew that I need to do something for myself. So I went to Kundalini teacher training, and during the process, I started seeing a lot of different changes in myself. Started setting out boundaries, started speaking up. A lot of those fears started disappear, feeling more secure being me. I started thinking, how other women are doing this, that perhaps they don't even have friends, that they're completely isolated because they were in an abusive relationship. I need to share this with other women. I need to let them know that this is happening. It was like a sense of responsibility. And the Latin American culture, I feel women right there is still struggling even more, to find their voice and setting up boundaries and just be who they are, and just understand that in order for me to be happy, I don't need to have this codependency of something else that a lot of times it turns to be on their husband. It is important because we need to have tools to control our emotions. A lot of times our past experience, our traumas, really runs our show, and we need to be the ones that run the show. How we do this? When you practice Kundalini Yoga, when you strengthen your nervous system, when you help your hormones, you become more aware of what are you doing. You become more aware of your triggers, but more than ever, you also become more balanced. So you can help your family, you can help the people around you, and you just can really become an inspiration for other people.